Hi friends, Mindy here. I have a quick process video for you today. I'm going to be working in day 16 and 17 of Junk Journal July. I was out of town for a couple days, and so I got a little bit behind, and I thought I would just go ahead and turn on my camera while I was making up a couple of these days. I am cutting out one of these rub-ons. These are from 49 in Market, and I have picked one of the bigger ones, and so this will cover actually a good section of this page, and I'm kind of putting it right down in the middle. The prompt for this day is one-sided, and so what I'm going to try to do here is keep everything off to the right side of this page, and that's just really to kind of balance this along with the page on the left, with kind of day 15. And even though they're independent of one another, I am trying to keep them, I'm trying to make them coordinate just a little bit so they don't clash at least. And so I'm pulling the backer off here, and you can see I'm just going really slow. That way there are some sections where I didn't get it quite rubbed down all the way, and that just allows me to go back in there as I need to. It's just easier than if you just quickly pull off the whole backer and then realize that you didn't, that you missed a section or whatever. So I just do that real slow just to make sure that everything is stuck down really well. And I'm adding a couple of these other little pieces. These rub-ons from 49 in Market are great. They're so beautiful. And so I'm just kind of pulling out some of the little sections that are just like a leaf here or a little bundle there, just to try to fill in this whole area, and then using the little tool that comes with these, but you could use anything really to rub those down. So the next thing I'm going to do is add some paper. Again, now I'm going to be working like toward the right side of this page. This is some vintage book paper that I got from my subscription from a house of books. And just a side note, this video is going to go up on the 19th, I believe, and they're offering a discount for my followers for 10% off your subscription, your first month subscription, or 10% off of any of the like a la carte items that you may want. So I would, check that out. They have vintage ephemera, vintage papers. They even have some vintage fabric right now, which is really beautiful. Just different things that they've gotten from antique shops and estate sales and all kinds of things. And so they're really an interesting company, and they do a subscription that you can do every month. If you haven't seen that on my channel, I have several unboxings of those that you can check out. I will try to link those down below if you're interested. But they are having that sale, like I said, for 10% off through the 24th. So I just thought I would throw that out there. I am using a few of these papers here today. So the next thing I'm going to do is pull out some music paper. This is also from a house of books. But I thought about putting them right on top of each other, but they were just too similar. So I want to add just a little bit of green. And I have this paper. This is actually paper from By the Well for God. This is from an older devotional kit. And I just happen to have it kind of sitting on my desk. And I keep a little bucket of all my scraps and stuff. And then I found even a smaller one, which is going to be perfect because I just want a little bit of this green color kind of peeking out. And the book paper, I tore the edge of it to keep it rough, but this one is very straight, and I want the contrast like that, so I'm not tearing this down or anything. And then I am going to tear down the music paper, so it just gives some interesting dimension between the different layers, with having a couple of them with torn edge and then one with straight edge. So at least to my eye, it does. Anyway, so I'm just gluing this down. I'm using a Yoo-Hoo glue stick. This is I like to use this a lot for some of my mixed media and collage things. It's especially good for thinner papers because you don't have to worry about getting those kind of glue marks from wet glues, if that makes sense. It just makes everything lay down really nice and flat. And so I'm pulling out these rub-ons again. You can see kind of the full page here, because I want to concentrate everything down here now into this bottom right-hand corner. I'm trying to draw the eye that way. And again, because everything, the prompt for today is one-sided, so I'm just keeping everything over here on this right side. And then just going through here again with the same process. I have this little rub-on, just making sure. This one was kind of going over a little bit of layers, so I was really making sure that everything was just stuck down really well. because I have the different, the two different papers there. And then I'm adding another little leaf that kind of goes over onto the green paper. So just to kind of tie those sections in. And then I'm going to go around the edge with some distress ink. This is archival in, I think it's ground espresso, if I remember right. And I'm just doing the edges of, I like to do that, just kind of creates a frame and just kind of brings, kind of pulls your eye into the middle of the page a little bit better. I just like doing that on my pages anyway. The next thing I'm going to do is add some more rub-ons. These actually are from Tim Holtz though. And I picked these because they're nice and big, and these numbers are really going to kind of draw your eye down to this corner, and you apply them exactly the same way. I cut them out from the full page, and then I'm just going over with the back of this tool here. It's really just a little plastic piece, and then just lining this one up, and then I'm gonna do that process again. One of the things that's neat about these particular ones is once you've kind of rubbed them down, you'll see where they kind of start almost looking gray, and that's really where the backing paper is pulling away from the actual rub-on, so you know that you've really got it, rubbed down well. And then that's basically going to be it for everything for day 16. I did notice a couple of my little things were lifting here. My book paper, or not my book paper, but my By the Well for God paper, I don't think I got enough glue on there, so I'm just going to come in here with my Barely Arts Precision glue, because I can get the needle underneath, the little needle tip underneath there. Just make sure everything is stuck down really well. And a little bit of that book paper was up too. So that is pretty much it for day 16. So I'm going to move on to day 17. And 17, the prompt is go to color palette. And this one is actually really hard for me because I don't feel like I have any one particular color palette. I have a few different color palettes that I like or prefer based on different things that I'm doing, if that makes sense. And so I pulled out these 4 cards. These are all like journaling cards that I've made. And they all kind of represent my, I guess my go-to color palettes. So I have this one up here in the top left that is more like vintage. And then I have a blue and green one. And then I have one that's like purple and teal, which are my 2 favorite colors. And then I have another one that's a little bit lighter purple and teal, and a little bit of pink in there, and just some other things. That's this card in the front. And so I thought because these really are like more representative of like my go-to colors, I want to kind of get them all on this one page. And so it's going to maybe look a little bit odd, but it just felt like the best way to kind of represent my color palette. As a side note, this actually came from a collage masterboard. I have a video for how I did that for this particular journaling card. And so I will try to remember to link that in the description. But what I'm going to do is just kind of create some pockets and then tuck in some of these other cards. So I'm just gluing this down. I'm actually using some 450 quick dry adhesive because it's solvent adhesive. It's really strong. And these cards are pretty thick. So what I did is I glued that one and created a pocket and slid that one card in there. And now I have this other big card. I'm going to kind of do it in the bottom right corner now. So the first thing that I want to do is I just added glue along the very, very bottom, because I obviously can't, glue down the 3 sides that you would normally do for a pocket here if I want to be able to access that card that's in the back, if that makes sense. So I'm starting out by just kind of doing this one at the bottom, and I'm going to end up putting a couple clips here just to hold this down until that glue sets completely. And then at the top section, I'm only going to glue along that card that's on the back. So I'm not, I'm making sure that my glue is not going anywhere else. Otherwise, I won't be able to reach that. I won't be able to get that card out that's tucked into that pocket. So just kind of, it ends up being like maybe three quarters of that front card is glued down at the top, and then I'll be able to slide in this card now from this side. And I thought I was going to leave it at this point. I thought that would be good enough, and I probably could have, but I did want to add just a little bit of glue. So I'm just kind of holding everything down until it's glued. But over here on the right, I just want to add a little bit of glue here. So I'm just kind of going up underneath and only gluing down this like bottom right-hand corner. Again, and this is all so that I can go in there and be able to pull out that card that's kind of tucked behind. But I just felt like this gave the best representation of all of my favorite color palettes, I guess. And so you can kind of see how I have the two brighter ones kind of tucked away, and then the vintage one in the back, and then the more colorful one in the front. And then I need to add my my number for today. So I have these number strips from Tim Holtz, and I'm just kind of flipping through there, and I found this one that said 317 Main Street or something on it, and so I just cut off the 3. And I was going to do this the whole thing that said 17 Main Street, but I decided to just cut out the 17. It ended up being like the perfect little size to kind of tuck right in that bottom left-hand corner. You can see I can still pull out these cards, and that is pretty much it for this day. So if you like this video, I would appreciate it if you gave it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and until next time, bye-bye.